Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast,
where the magic is in learning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Mystic Access Podcast, August 25th, 2020. She's Kim.
He's Chris.
And we have some stuff to talk about today.
As always. We always have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it'd be kind of a boring podcast if all you heard was dead air.
Yeah, or us just talking to each other. How boring. Who wants to hear that?
You'd have to censor half of it out because Kim likes to rant and rage about stuff. But
I do not.
the first thing that we're going to talk about is a reminder of our upcoming Orbit class, providing we have the
requisite number of people.
Exactly. And
we're getting there, guys.
We are getting there. We got
a few more weeks. We got a few more weeks, so you've still got time to join us. We hope you will join us. We're over half full at this point. Definitely, if you want to join, feel free to do so. There is no maximum requirement, so if we get above our number, fantastic, great. But we'd really, really like to get to 50 people. So if you would like to join us, we will link to it in the show notes for you. You can check it out. You can find out what it's all about. And we have dates for you today.
We do. So providing the class goes on as planned, the dates are October 8th, 2020 at 8:30 p.m. and October 15th at 8:30 p.m.
That's Eastern time.
That's Eastern time.
So both sessions of class will, of course, be recorded. You, as a class participant, will receive the recordings of class. So you'll have those for your ongoing reference. And each class will allow a good half hour or so for questions at the end of the presentation portion of class. So we are going to talk about the various flavors of Orbit Reader. And for those of you who have asked, yes, we are going to discuss Orbit Writer a bit as well, the new Orbit Writer product. We now have dates. We are excited to now have dates. We just firmed those up with our colleagues, and we are looking forward to that. Now, remember, if you pre-order class now, we will know for sure by September 15th. So we will be able to let you know by the podcast after that date whether or not we are in fact having class.
And of course, those that pre-registered or pre-ordered, if you will get the information that you will need to join the class
immediately.
So there is no waiting for you. So
on the 15th, you're going to know. For sure.
Right.
You don't have to wait for confirmation. Right. You, as a pre-order, pre-registrant, will know, hey, we're having class or not.
And just a quick note, too, pre-ordering doesn't mean adding it to your cart.
Please, yes. We've gotten like 3 people in the last week who have asked us that question. And if the cash register is throwing you off and making you think that adding to your cart has in fact checked you out, that's not the case. So please know that. And if that causes a lot of people trouble, we'll get rid of it because we don't want to cause problems like that. We wanted to keep it in there as something kind of fun to let you know that something was in fact added to your cart. So let us know what you think. Of course, we will be happy to hear from you about your thoughts on the matter. And just know that a pre-order, what does the pre-order button say? Do you remember the verbiage for the pre-order button?
Pre-order?
It just says pre-order. And I think that might be the thing that's really causing as much problems as the cash register or more, is that it just says pre-order.
The add to cart is actually a pre-order button, so it does change. Yes. From add to cart to pre-order product or pre-order.
So when you press that, it still does the same thing. It adds to your cart. So you need to check out after doing that, just as you would with any other product that you add to cart.
Right.
That's how that works. So that's the latest update on class, and we would love to see many of you in class if you have interest in the topic of Orbit products. Speaking of classes, Chris, we have something very interesting and timely for this coming Thursday, which is the 27th. And we decided kind of at the last minute on it, and I'm actually really glad we waited now.
There are emails going around the various blindness lists and the various mainstream tech pundits about the perceived end of Internet Explorer. For those that have followed us for quite a while, you know that at least a year and a half ago, we decided to not allow or disallow the use of Internet Explorer on our site because it was causing too many problems. And there are some news items out there now, and they talk about Microsoft Internet Explorer is dead. This is the end of Internet Explorer 11, and they're not going to be putting any more security updates into Microsoft Internet Explorer 11. I don't even know the real story behind the story of what it is, but from what I've been able to gather, after November 30th of 2020, Microsoft's own products, starting with Microsoft Teams, will no longer work on Internet Explorer. So if that's not putting the nail in the coffin of Internet Explorer, for instance, it's probably putting the lid on the coffin before nailing it shut. That's kind of what I would think of it, at least. A couple of years ago, we did a class on switching from web browsers. What some people who use Internet Explorer and have used it for eons, that's the go-to or the fail-safe browser that people
It's also the
want.
pre-installed browser.
Well, it is. What happens is that people, they get comfortable with something and they think, if I switch to Firefox or if I switch to Chrome or Edge or any of these other Chromium-based browsers, then it's going to be a totally different learning curve, and that is incorrect. The majority of stuff that you do online is transferable from Internet Explorer to a different browser. And the other day, I saw an article from somewhere, I can't remember where it was, and David Kingsbury has put out a book, which I did purchase. It's called When One Browser Isn't Enough, or something like that. The ands or something might be a little bit different, but that's the gist of what it's called. It talks about why you would want more than one browser. And sometimes a website plays better with one web browser than another web browser. So that book is out there as a resource.
That's from the
Our
Carroll Center. That's where it's
right.
available from.
Our previous classes out there, but if you're on Internet Explorer, you can't get to it. What we're going to do is we're going to not redo the class word for word, but we are going
Not even
to
close. No,
update it.
yes, we're going to update it for now. And one reason we're going to do that is to explore the new pre-installed IE alternative, which is Edge. Edge, according to what I've been reading last week, does not have a very big market share at all. It's one of the baby browsers in terms of market share. But Edge offers some really cool features. So we're just going to talk about some of these different browsers, some of the things you can do, and we're also going to give you a tip on installing browsers that may help make that switch easier for you. We'd love for you to join us, particularly if you are an IE user currently, or if it is one of the browsers that you find yourself using. We would love to have you join class. Bring your questions, bring your concerns. We would love to talk to you specifically. Or if you have friends who are using IE, and you are one of these friends who is trying to convert them to something better and secure, then you may want to come to class too, because we may be able to give you some ideas. Either way, you will probably find something to learn here. Or if you're someone who's just curious about, well, there's all these browsers out here, I wonder, what makes this one unique and special? And of course, we're not going through them all, but we're going to talk about some of the mainstays. And we would love to have you. And of course, as I said, bring your questions. This is Thursday night, and what the heck, we'll just make this one public because it is such an important topic. So I will send this to you guys on the events list, but we'll also make sure that this is up on the website for you guys so you can take advantage of it. I will make a news article and send that out to our newsletters lists and make sure that you guys have access to that. I will put a link in the show notes for this podcast so that you will be able to see it here. So I'll put a link in, you can link to that news article, and in there is going to be the link to class. So you can join us, you can join by phone, iOS, Fire OS, Android, however you want to join us, and of course via Mac or PC. And we will talk about this very important topic. So while we're talking about web browsers, let me just give you one cool experience that you can have if you are using Edge. And this is something that I discovered a couple weeks ago. And it is really, really cool. This is one thing we'll be discussing in class. So first I'm going to show you how to find it. And then I'm going to show you the shortcut to get to it. So This is a mode that you can access in Edge. And in order to show you where it is, I'm going to go into my Edge settings. So I'm sitting in my Edge web browser. Now my screen reader actually will do something cool, and I'll show you in a minute. I use NVDA primarily, and I have it as the screen reader right now because I'm using Catherine as our voice. So right now I'm using NVDA, and I'll show you something cool that Edge and NVDA do together that is neat in just a moment. First, I want to show you this mode. So in order to get into my Edge menu, and we'll talk about the differences in menus in web browsers in class. But to get into my Edge menu, I'm going to press Alt-F.
Update available U1 of 21.
Oh, looky. I have an update. Well, that's kind of cool. So let's go up.
Close Microsoft Edge C21 of
So I'm
21.
just moving up with up arrow.
Help and feedback U20 of 21. Settings S19 of
There's
21.
where you go to configure Edge settings.
More tools L18 of
There's
21.
more tools.
Read aloud U Control plus Shift plus U17 of
Now
21.
there's a cool feature. That is the read aloud feature. We'll demo this in class. We aren't going to demo this right now though.
Find on page F Control plus F16 of
So I'm just
21.
showing you a few things here. You can find on page.
Share R15 of
You can
21.
share.
Print P Control plus P14
You
of
can
21.
print. So we're not going to go up any further. I'm just showing you a few things in this menu. Let's go down to more tools.
More tools L18 of
And
21.
press enter.
Save page as a Control plus S1
And
of
let's see what
6.
we've got here. Save page as.
Cast media to device C2 of
Cast
6.
media to device.
Pin to taskbar P3 of
Pin to
6.
taskbar. So you can actually pin a web page to your taskbar.
Launch taskbar pinning wizard L4 of
There's the
6.
pinning wizard.
Browser task manager B Shift plus F5
You
of
have a
6.
browser task manager, which is kind of neat.
Developer tools D Control plus Shift plus I6
And you
of
have
6.
developer tools. So that's what's in more tools. So there's not a lot of there you're going to use all the time, but I just want to show you the diversity of what is available. What I want to show you is something called Immersive Reader. And it's called Immersive Reader because it takes away a lot of the stuff that you would find on a web page. For instance, I'm going to get out of this menu. It will get rid of a lot of the stuff around your text so that you can read it easily. So I'm currently on commando.com.
Play video.
And it's saying play video. And I want to show you a little bit about what this page is like. So I'm going to go to the top.
Button collapsed page sections. List with 2 items. Link skipped content. Link skip to search. Out of list button. Close this menu. Banner landmark visited link commando.com. Navigation landmark list with 5 items. Link watch. Link listen. Link GET newsletters. Link DE
So,
caller. Pause.
There's a whole bunch of stuff here.
Link login / JOI in the
Lots of links.
community.
If I go to the bottom,
Out of list link freestar.io at medium equals sticky button. Link watch over. Link get rid of K. Link
I'm
cackle
just going
saw.
up. There's an ad here at the bottom.
Link cackle saw. Content info landmark by copyright. Registered
And I can
trademark.
just go up and up and up. But I'm actually on a page with an article. So what I'm going to do is press Shift 1.
Main landmark stream like a pro. 7 Netflix hacks you'll use all the time heading
And
level
I'm
1.
at this article. And I want to show you how you can get where we want to go. So I'm going to go into the toolbar. And I'm not going to tell you
Pause.
how we're doing it. And yes, there's a video in this article apparently because it keeps telling me play, pause, these type things. So I'm going to go into the toolbar. I'm not going to tell you how we're going to do that. I'll tell you in class.
Tab bar toolbar. Tab control. 7 Netflix hacks that will turn you into a streaming expert. Tab selected 6 of 8. 7 Netflix hacks that will turn you into a streaming expert. Tooltip.
So there is the page that I currently have open. It says 6 of 8. So I've got 8 tabs open.
New tab button control plus T. New tab. Control plus T. Tooltip.
And I've
replay.
got it
Pause.
reading me tooltips too, and I need to turn those back off. But that is the way you can reopen a tab or open a new one.
App bar toolbar. Back button collapsed. Click to go back. Alt plus left arrow. Hold to see history.
So
Tooltip.
you can go back.
Refresh button. Refresh. Control plus R.
You can
Tooltip.
refresh.
View site information button collapsed. View site information tooltip. Address and search bar. Edit search or enter web address. Control plus L selected.
And
HTTP.
there's my address for this commando.com article.
Enter immersive reader. F9 button. Enter immersive reader. F9.
So
Tooltip.
this is how you enter immersive reader. So I can press enter here to enter immersive reader, or I can press F9 from anywhere in this article. Now, a thing to note, you cannot use immersive reader anywhere. It only works in certain places, but when it does work, it's cool. So I'm going to press enter here.
Loading complete.
Now that sound you just heard has nothing whatsoever to do with commando.com or the immersive reader. It is a different extension that we'll talk about in class.
Main landmark copyright Gamaki
So I'm going to go to the
209.
top of the page.
Toolbar region button read
There's
aloud.
read aloud.
Button text preferences. Button grammar
So it's
tools.
opening this little
Button reading preferences. Button pin toolbar.
experience.
Out of region main landmark heading level 1 stream like a pro. 7 Netflix hacks you'll use all the time. Copyright Gamaki 2. Link dreamstime.com. No doubt since the coronavirus pandemic hit, you've spent more time than you'd care to admit watching Netflix. The streaming service has great hits like Stranger Things, Ozark,
So
and
it's reading me this article, and I can go down by heading
1. Hide what you've watched heading level
to see
2.
the hacks. Now, if I go up a little bit from here,
You'll wish you knew about a few months ago.
and there's no ad here.
1. Hide what you've 2. Find new discoveries with secret category codes heading level 3. Download shows to watch offline heading
And
level
again,
2.
if I go up from here,
Link tap or click here for a list of secret codes you can use on Netflix.
so there is, again, something associated with the article itself. So rather than me having to scroll through a gazillion ads, I don't have to do that. Now, notice at the top it also said you could read aloud. So that's something else you can do, but we'll show you that part in class because it's cool. You can read this aloud, or you can go into this immersive reader mode and read these articles. Now, if I was just on commando.com, I don't know if it would show us this, and let's actually find out. So I'm going to hit F9 again.
Loading page.
Now if I go to the top, well, I think it's done. Let me see. Now if I go to the top,
Blank. By Kim Command. Loading
there we go. It
complete.
just took a second.
Button collapsed page
remember-
sections. Play video.
Remember a second ago when I said my screen reader does something? That loading page, loading complete thing? That is an NVDA and Edge thing. JAWS does not do that. So if a page is loading with NVDA and Edge, it'll say loading, still loading, loading complete.
But it's not only an NVDA thing. If you use Narrator, it does the same thing. It's totally
Pause.
not just NVDA. I think it's Edge telling the screen reader, and for whatever reason, JAWS decides to ignore it.
That's very
But
possible.
I think it's a cool little feature because it will say loading page, still loading, load complete. It reminds me of Window Eyes. For those that used that screen reader in the past, they used to have an option where you could turn those announcements on, and Window Eyes would say loading page, load done. So it kind of reminds me of that, and it sounds like that's built right into Edge. So Edge is kind of talking to the screen reader. There's another thing that Edge does that's kind of cool. If you press Control W to close a window or close your tab, it will actually tell you. It actually speaks to let you know that that window is in fact closed. And Kim's not going to close the window because
I'm not, because I want to go to commando.com real quick. And I'm not going to close it because I have another extension that we'll show you in class enabled that is something else. So yeah, we're not going to do that right now. I'm just going to go to the main commando.com website. So I'm going to press Control L.
App bar toolbar. Address and search bar, edit search or enter web address Control plus L selected
And it's got the
HTTP.
address I've already got in there right now, but I'm just going to type commando.com.
Loading page. 7 Netflix hacks that will turn you into a streaming expert document. Button still loading. Latest loading complete.
That's interesting. My page must have been, or something. That's my maximizing sound that I get from this other extension. Isn't that the maximizing
I
sound?
think so.
I wonder if that had something to do with it being an immersive reader earlier. Huh, interesting. Anyway, so now we're on the main commando.com website.
Latest tech news. How-tos and deals commando.com and 7 more pages personal
And
Microsoft
there's my
Edge.
title bar to tell us that. Let's see if we can get into immersive reader. We cannot. So I'm pressing F9. I can press it till the cows come home, and I am not going anywhere. It really seems to only work on articles or something that you can read. So maybe, perhaps, if I went to one of our podcast episodes, it would work. I don't know. So it's kind of interesting, but it's one of those really cool things. If you read a lot of news or a lot of commentary online, this could potentially be something that would be really interesting for you. So that's just one little highlight that we'll be discussing further in our upcoming class. Now, speaking of highlights and cool things, we have something else really cool that we can show. Do you want me to go ahead and show it since I'm here already?
Sure.
Okay, tell the good people about what we've got here.
I can't remember if it was like last podcast.
I think it
or-
was. I want to say it was.
or maybe 2 podcasts ago, where we demonstrated our checkout process, and we didn't have the United States or the country field didn't speak and the state field didn't speak. Since that podcast came out, one thing I did was I made at least United States speak, or your current country. The system would geolocate you to your current country. So if you were in the United States would be selected by default. If you were in the UK, the United Kingdom would be selected by default. You get the point. The state, however, was not selected. So you still had to, go through the whole search routine, or, type as much of the state as you want until you found it and go that way. However, I think we came up with a neater solution, and I don't mean neat as in clean, although it probably could be, but I mean neat as in interesting. And that is a freeform address field. Now, you don't have to use it. You can skip right by it. It says optional. And if you want to use it, that's great. Kim is going to show us how to use it. What it does is it will allow you to type as little of an address as you want, or as much of an address as you want. For example, in that field, I could type a zip code, say 90210, most famous zip code in the world, right? I could type that, then I can hit the down arrow key, and it's going to say 90210 Beverly Hills, California. If I tab off of that, then it will automatically fill in just those 2 options. It'll fill in the city, the zip code, and it will also fill in the state. Now, if I were to type 1879 Whitehaven Road, Grand Island, and down arrow, it would pick that. I could even type 1879 Whitehaven Road, and because I'm physically close to it, it will pick it up. If you are a certain mileage away and I haven't figured out what it is yet, the more you type, if you know you're farther away from an address, the better you are. But if you know that, your home address, obviously you're going to type in your home address or a portion of your home address, it's going to pick it up in the first couple of hits.
Especially if you're there.
Right.
If you're sitting at home, you don't have to worry about it. You'll find it quickly.
Or you can type in the whole thing if you want to. It's going to be very, very forgiving. Now, we're not going to show you how to add something to the cart, but you need something in your cart in order to make this work, obviously, because you're checking out.
Right now, I think this only works on the billing address, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And we're working with the developer to make sure we can fix that.
Right.
So hopefully that will be fixed very soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Mystic Access.
App bar toolbar. Loading page.
And there's my loading.
Loading complete. Banner landmark Android audio documentation Mystic Access heading level 2.
So I moved to one of our category pages.
Shopping CARD heading level 2. Main landmark Android audio documentation heading level 1. Showing the single
There's
result.
only one product in here right now.
Shop order combo box collapse sort by popularity. Products 1 from 1. Combo box collapse 10. Heading level 2 list of products. List with 1 items link graphic placeholder. Link heading level 3 acquainting yourself with Android getting started with an Android device.
So here's our Android tutorial.
Link 5 out of 5. Link $69.
It's got 5 stars. It's $69.
Link quick buy.
So we have 2 options here. We can do quick buy or we can add to cart. So I'm going to quick buy.
Loading page.
And again, loading page. Because we're
Alert VIEW. Loading complete. Checkout Mystic
and
Access.
because we did quick buy, it immediately took us to the checkout page. So
Banner landmark checkout Mystic Access heading
if
level
I now
2.
press E,
Main landmark table with 3 rows and 2 columns spin button editable.
that's if you want to make a gift.
Gift dollar. Out of table guaranteed to be tax deductible.
So it is not guaranteed to be tax deductible, just to clarify that. And that is how you can make a gift. I'm going to move down again.
Table with 3 rows and 2 columns spin
There,
button.
you make your gift.
Clickable enter your billing address. Optional. Edit search to autocomplete.
Search to autocomplete billing address. I'm going to use a rather famous one in brownie points to see if you know what this is. I'm going to type 171 LAKE and down arrow. And ignore the typing sounds. Again, we'll talk about those in class.
171 Lake Boulevard, Lake Lure, NC, USA.
That's not where I want to go.
171 Lakeview Lodge Drive, 171 Lake Point Parkway, 171 Lake Tahoma
So
Road.
these are all local results close to me. So let's say none of these are exactly where I want, because that's not where I'm trying to go. So actually what it's done here is it's pre-filled the one I was sitting on last. So I'm just going to select all.
171 Lake Tahoma Road.
And
S.
delete
Unselected.
that. And now I'm going to do again 171 LAKEWASHINGTON and press down arrow.
171 Lake Washington Boulevard East, Seattle, Washington, USA.
There's our famous place. So from here, I'm going to press tab.
First name it has autocomplete blank. Check out Mystic Access document. Check out Mystic Access document.
So we are in first name. Again, can you name the famous people who lived at this house?
Main landmark. Article. First name it has autocomplete
Now,
blank.
I've seen this before.
I've seen that before too. I think what it's doing is it's populating it and then it puts you back. So I think it's one of those caveats. Again, you need to be careful when you are, filling out any form.
So if I tab through here, here's first name.
Last name it has
Here's
autocomplete
last
blank.
name.
Company name. Optional. Edit blank. United States US combo box United States
Now
US
we know
collapsed.
we are in the United States, and if I move to state now,
Street address edit selected 171 Lake Washington Boulevard
there's the
East.
street address, including Lake Washington Boulevard East.
Ton Boulevard East unselected. Apartment, suite, unit, etc. Optional. Optional. Edit selected Central District.
That's different.
That is different.
Okay, I don't know why I did that, but okay. That is correct as far as I'm aware.
Town/city edit selected
Seattle.
Seattle. Washington combo box Washington
Your
collapsed.
state is pre-filled.
Zip edit selected 98,112.
Here's your zip.
98,112 unselected. Phone
And
edit
then
blank.
put in the rest of your information.
Email address edit has autocomplete blank. Events checkbox
There's
not
if you want
checked.
to subscribe to our mailing lists. And if you don't know what this is, you can just escape out of here and you can move up and down with up and down arrow and see that, oh, these are in fact our mailing lists.
Mystic Access News
So
checkbox
you can
not
check
checked.
either one of these with space to subscribe.
Create account password edit protected
This is where you
password.
create your Mystic Access account password.
Order notes optional. Edit multi-line notes about your order. E.G. Special notes for delivery.
There's order notes.
Combo box month collapsed.
That's your birthday.
Here's your birthday. So again, if you're not sure what this is, you can escape out, but you can put in your birthday. We highly recommend you put in your birthday because you get a special treat.
And
Combo box day
we
collapsed.
don't
there's
care
your-
about the year. It's only
No, we
month.
don't care about the year, see?
List. Credit card. Stripe. Visa American Express MasterCard Discover JSCB Diners Radio button checked
So this
1
is
of
where you
3.
can choose how you want to pay. You've got credit card, PayPal, and personal check. Is it personal check?
It's check or personal check. But
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
Check out Mystic
Then,
Access document.
as we
Main
continue to
landmark.
tab.
Article. List. Secure card number input frame. Document. Credit or debit card number edit has autocomplete
Kim's
1
gonna
2
type in
3
a
4
credit card
1
number
2
right
3
here
4
so
1 2
everybody can
3
hear
4
it.
1 2
no,
3
she's
4.
not. Sorry, guys. So that's where you put in your card number.
Secure expiration date input frame. Document. Credit or debit card expiration date edit has autocomplete
There's
MM/YY.
expiration.
Edit blank. Secure CVC input frame. Document. Credit or debit card CVC/CVV edit CVC. Document selected. Save payment information to my account for future purchases.
You can
Checkbox
choose
not
to do
checked.
this or not.
Privacy
You
policy
can see
link.
the privacy policy.
I have read and agreed to the website terms and conditions checkbox
That
not
one's
checked.
important to check.
Terms and conditions link. I want to receive updates about products and promotions. Checkbox
You
not
can choose to
checked.
check that.
Place
And
order
there's your
button.
place order button. So I just moved back into browse mode for the
So
website.
all of that to show you, well, she showed us the entire checkout.
I did because you know
process.
sometimes you get into a checkout and you just are intimidated because you're like, what is this going to be like? Can I do this? You can't do it. And that's why I specifically wanted to tab through it as you might when you're just putting in your information and show you what the whole experience is in fact like.
Right, but we were talking about and showing that first box.
171 Lake Washington Boulevard East, Seattle.
So
And I did not have to type any of that in.
Go back up to that edit box.
Okay, let's
However
do
you
that.
want to get
Let's
there
go.
quickly.
I'm just going to go
Dial.
down here.
Clickable enter your billing address. Optional. Edit
Okay.
171 Lake
Now
Washington.
let's try something like 1800 Maple Lane, Davis, and see what it does.
100.
Well, let's do
Unselected.
1800 Maple Lane. And let's just try that. Let's see what we get if we do 1800 Maple Lane. I'm just going to down arrow. Remember, too, I'm down arrowing. It's pre-filling. You're not pressing enter here.
1800 Maple Lane, Garrett.
Okay,
N,
there's one in
US.
Garrett, Indiana.
1800 Maple Lane, Okokeek,
There's a
MD.
Maryland one.
1800 Maple Road, Williamsville,
New York.
NY. 1800 Maple Avenue, Evanston. 1800 Maple Lane, Ismark, ND.
North Dakota.
1800 Maple Lane.
We don't know what that one is.
1800 Maple Lane,
Okay,
Garrett,
so-
IN,
That was
USA.
your, right.
That
so
was what
that
I
was
wrote. So
what
let's
you
go back
wrote.
up there, actually.
1800 Maple Lane.
So now, I'm
blank.
going to go to the end of E
blank.
for lane. And I'm going to type Davis and down arrow.
1800 Maple Lane, Bountiful, Davis County, UT,
So
USA.
there's Utah.
1800 Maple Lane, Davis, CA, USA.
There you go.
That's the one I was looking for.
That's the one you wanted. So you can
So-
see that if you need to fix something or change something or whatever you want to do, you can do that. You don't even have to type in the full thing. Like I did for Lake Washington Boulevard East, I tried 171 Lake, which was not good enough. So I did 171 Lake Washington, which put me close to Seattle, which is where I want
Okay.
to be.
Let's try one more example, shall we?
Okay. I'm
1000
selecting all and I'm deleting.
Let's do 14072.
You just want a zip code, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to down arrow.
Grand Island, New York 14072, USA.
And there it is. So if you tab off here, we don't have to
First name
show
start
it.
has autocomplete
Yes, we
blank.
do. Okay.
Name, last name, company name, United States, street address, star edit, house number and street name.
So there's where you would put your street name. You'll have to do this part.
Apartment, suite, apartment, S selected. Town/city, star edit selected, Grand
There's
Island.
Grand Island.
New York combo box, New York
There's
collapsed.
New York.
Zip star edit selected,
And there is
14,072.
your zip.
So again, you can do as little as you want or as much as you want in that free form edit field.
And no, you don't get a goodie if you can tell me the famous address I typed in earlier, but I'll just, I'll say
good,
hey.
because I don't know it.
Well, perhaps you're just slightly too old to be real familiar with that address. Or maybe you listened to the wrong
it's
kind of
Probably when grunge came out or
thing.
something.
Perhaps. Well, it was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next. Move on.
So we were talking earlier with Edge about the cool things that NVDA and Edge did playing together. Now we're going to talk about another screen reader and something cool it can do when playing with websites.
Exactly. And we had a couple of people ask me how they can do what I'm about to show you. And that is have links and headings speak in a different voice instead of saying link blah, link blah, link blah, or heading 1 blah, heading 3 blah. So there's a way to do that, and it's with the sound schemes. JAWS has had this for quite a long time, and it is a feature where you can change your sound schemes. You can have sounds. If I wanted let's say, a button press, for example, to play instead of JAWS speaking OK button, I could have it say OK and then have a button press sound. You can get really, really fancy. However, we're not going to do that, but that is one thing that it really can do. You can really soundify your computer.
Well, we found our show title, guys. We're going to call this one Soundify Your Computer.
I'm in Brave, and I'm on Google.com. So I'm going to switch the sound scheme to something called Rent a Crowd, and there are different ways to do this. Let me just show you, for example.
Accessibility search modes, heading level navigation, read heading level 1 search modes.
So as you can see, it says heading level search modes,
Navigate link maps,
link maps,
link videos,
link videos. So I'm going to press insert F2.
run JAWS manager dialog, list 1 list view,
I'm going to press S
script manager, settings center, 17 of
until I get to settings center, and I'm going to press enter.
enter. Chrome JAWS settings center dialog, search box edit, control plus E, computer braille.
It loaded the settings for Chrome, or Brave actually, because I'm in Brave, which is a Chromium browser. Now let's say that I don't want to have to do this every browser that I run. I might want to do it for Brave and Edge and all that. And instead of doing it multiple times, I'm just going to load the default, and I'm going to press Control Shift D.
JAWS settings center default all applications.
Now I'm going to search for the word sound.
S-U-N-D-S.
Or sounds.
Forms mode sounds. 1 of 4 search results.
And I'm going to down arrow.
4 search results list box. Forms mode. Play JAWS sounds check. Speech and sound schemes.
Speech and sound schemes. Now I'm going to down arrow.
Active speech and sound scheme classic. Speech and sound schemes.
To active speech and sound scheme. And it says classic. Now I'm going to press the space bar 20 some odd times. The one that I'm looking for is called Rent a Crowd.
Space, classic attribute, space, classic app, space, classic attributes, font and color, 5 of 22, space, classic, space, and then tab with 2 spaces, 11 of 22, space, proofreading attributes, 14 of 22, space, proofreading app, space, say all text, space, Visual Studio, space, Visual Studio, space, web rent a crowd, 21 of 22.
And that is the one that I want. Now if I press
I like
tab,
the fact that it's telling you, this one will tell like your indent, tabs, whatever. And it kind
Yes.
of tells you what it's going to do, which is kind of an interesting concept.
right, but if I tab again,
Read only edit. Use this edit box to select one of several factory speech. Use this edit formatting and text styles, proofreading styles such as color, font, and attribute changes and indentation formats. You can also start with a factory scheme and then customize it to your liking. Classic is the default speech and sound scheme. Blend.
so that's telling you what speech and sound schemes are. And like I said before, you could really go to town and do a lot of strange things with your speech and sounds, should you wish to. Now I'm going to tab,
Apply button. OK button.
and I'm going to press enter.
Enter. Superman Google search Brave. Link videos.
Now I'm back to my misspelled word, and I'm going to down arrow.
Link maps. Link video. Link images. Link shopping.
And this is something JAWS likes to do. It did make the settings change, but I have to restart. So I'm going to restart JAWS,
Unloading JAWS.
and I'm going to reload it and press enter.
JAWS for Windows. Super. Accessibility links.
Please tell me how you got it to make that sound.
That's my clipboard. It's cleared my clipboard.
Chris has a million little tricks on his computer.
He does. So as you noticed,
Superman Google accessibility links.
Skip the main
You got a
content.
different voice.
you got a different voice.
Now, here's my question. If you were using someone like Catherine, who I was just using, would it use another Sappy 5 voice?
No.
To-
No. You would need to use your eloquence, or you would need to use your nuance voices. Not having tested it, I'll answer your question this way. You should be able to use like a Sappy 5 and pick different voices, because you have like a linked voice or a heading voice and all these other voices. You may be able to do that, but I don't know for sure. I do know that it does work using eloquence, and it does work using real speak voices as well as your nuance voices. Those will work as well.
Does it have something like Kurzweil used to have, which was like the reader voice versus the narrator or whatever they called it there? So like one thing reads your primary text or your major groups or blocks of text.
Again, I would have to look at that. There's so many things that you can do. You can have bolded text read a different way. You can have quoted text read in a different voice. I mean, if you're reading an article on the web, for example, and they're quoting this text, putting in a couple words, quoting this text, putting in a couple words, quoting this text, you can bounce from voice to voice to voice to voice just in reading an article.
So you've got all these different elements, in other words, that you can
Yes.
customize to
Yes.
your desires.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about phones. We all have phones. Some of us have watches. And what is the common thing that phones and watches have?
The need to charge.
The need to charge.
And what's the common thing, Chris, that a lot of the newer phones and watches have in common?
They charge.
They do, but how do they charge?
Look, Mom, no wires.
See, you were just looking for an excuse to say that in the podcast.
I was.
So, wireless charging. It is a cool thing. I've been really excited. I was excited when I got my SE because I could wirelessly charge. But for the last couple months, I've been saying, it'd be kind of nice to have a wireless charger. And it'd be kind of nice to be able to not have to worry about these big, long cables. Now, there are disadvantages we'll talk about in a second. But the ability to just be able to plop your phone down on something and let it wirelessly charge is pretty cool. The novelty hasn't worn off for me yet. And you recently found something mega cool that I'm very impressed with.
Yes, it is a wireless charging station. And you can get these stations anywhere from 20 some odd dollars all the way up to 100, several hundred, whatever you're willing to spend. One that I found is about $25 or so, give or take, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Prices fluctuate all the time. And what this is a piece of plastic. It's a stand. And on the bottom of the stand, you've got on the left side and the right side 2 long rubber feet.
Yeah, they're rectangles. They're real nice.
On the back, you've got a place where a USB-C cable connects. On the other end of the cable, if you're using it, you could have a charging brick that it came with, that this product actually came with. So you can plug it into the wall, you can plug it into another USB port. Maybe you have a hub that puts out enough power. You could connect it to that as well. On the front, you've got a couple of interesting things. You've got this thing that looks like a huge circle, or more like an oval.
It's more of an oval, yeah.
Possibly, right. And when you lift that up, there's a piece of metal that swings out, and that is your kickstand.
Yeah, it's a little kickstand.
So you can kickstand this and have your phone kind of vertical, or you can have it laying back at more of an angle. So there's those 2 options for you. And you use it with the little kickstand, and you probably cannot hear this.
I hear something.
But that's me putting the kickstand in the hole and shaking it. So you're not going to knock it over. You're not going to find your phone laying on the floor or laying flat on the device if you put it up. Right. What I wouldn't do, and this is just me, is I wouldn't leave this flat and put my phone on it. However, I suppose you could, but it might give it a little bit more error. If you don't put it on right, then your phone may not charge.
Well, the thing about charging it is there's another rubber spot on that disc.
It's on the front face, actually. It's right on the bottom.
And your phone needs to align with that. So you can put your phone in either portrait or landscape, whichever you want. But your phone has to align with that rubber piece.
Right.
It has to be centered on it.
Right. There is no lightning connection. If you want to use this as something that's going to charge your device wired and wirelessly or whatever, maybe you have an Android phone that's wireless and you have an iPhone that doesn't have, that doesn't support wireless capability. I don't know why you'd buy this, but I just want to make it perfectly clear that you cannot charge anything with a lightning port on this device.
Well, that's a little debatable, actually. But we'll get to that.
It is, but I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
Whatever she's going to tell you, I wouldn't recommend doing. We take no responsibility if your phone breaks. That's on the left side. On the right side, you've got a little thing that pops up, and you can put your Apple Watch on there. And you may be able to hear this. That's me lifting it up and pushing it back down.
It's got different angles.
It's got different angles, so you can have your watch at different angles. So what I like to do is I like to put the watch on it with it not straight up, but 1 or 2 little clicks back down, so that let gravity do its thing and hold the watch on the little charging pad there. It's a little round pad, and
it's got the little concave shape like where your watch goes.
Now, behind that, you've got a thing for an AirPods case. And this looks like a little gully, if you will. It's got 2 kind of like wings on either side, like ledges. And inside of that is a lightning port. Now,
And this is where I was saying, yes, could you plug something into that? Yes. Should you plug something into that?
no.
Probably not.
I say no because I take no responsibility for what Kim might tell you to do.
Because
So,
what would happen is you would have your device sitting in portrait mode. It'd be way too easy to bump it with your elbow or be picking up a glass of wine or whatever you've got too close to your phone and hitting it. And not only do you spill wine all over it, you might break that lightning port off. It's now stuck in your device and you have a huge mess.
right.
So can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? Absolutely not. It's
Right.
really meant to charge the case for your AirPods.
Right. Absolutely. Having never seen a case with AirPods,
That's right. Neither of us has experience with this part.
I spoke to an IRA agent who had experience with AirPods,
Yes.
and he said, absolutely, it will fit, and it will fit vertically. However, your lightning port is on your AirPods case. You would just slap the AirPods case onto this lightning port, and away you go.
Away you go. What's nice about this whole thing is, aside from this AirPods port or space, the whole thing folds down. So it makes it easier to travel with. Notice I didn't say easy, I said easier, because you got to be careful with this, again, lightning port, with this AirPods piece. It won't fold down. It doesn't compact itself for easier usage.
I suppose if you put a towel around it,
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah,
I wouldn't
mean,
worry about it
if
either.
you were packing it to go over on a weekend trip across the country and you had it in your overnight bag with your clothes, just wrap some clothes around it. Fold some jeans around it or something. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And the nice thing is the USB cable disconnects. So that's another thing that's not sticking out of the device when you're packing it up.
It also charges quite quickly. I've been impressed with its charging time too.
It does. It's a really nice little charging stand, and it was relatively inexpensive.
And for anyone curious, it is a matte black, except for the portion that holds the watch. That is a metallic black. So thank you to the same kind IRA agent who told us about the AirPods piece, because he gave us that information as well. So it'll match your decor beautifully, and no matter what color your phone is, it will work lovely with it.
Yes, I have that case that I recently talked about, the one that Barry Schroyer from Guidelights and Gadgets sells, which has the built-in wireless charging capability. And I just slap the phone and case on the little pad here, the oval pad, and it just works.
And don't forget, if you've got an Android phone with wireless charging, you can use it here too. So, we've charged our phone, Chris. What the heck are we going to do with it now that it's charged? Are you one of these people, like me, you just have so much stuff, and sometimes you put your phone down, and you're looking for it later. Maybe you've had to run answer the door or something, or getting a package or some food or whatever. And you ran to answer the door, and then you have no idea where you threw your phone before you went to do that.
Been there,
Does that
done
just
that.
happen to me? Because sometimes you feel like all crazy person, like, I've lost my phone. Where is my phone? I probably spent 10 minutes sometime last week looking for my phone. Well, I might have a solution for you. And let me tell you why I bought this thing. What I have is one of those phone pillow stands. Now, if you've never heard of these, bear with me a second, because it looks kind of like a pillow. It's fluffy. It's soft. I suppose in a pinch you could use it as a pillow. You could certainly prop your arm on it or something, or probably even put it under your head. I've not tried that. But what this is essentially a multi-position viewing stand that people use to watch movies and YouTube videos and TV shows and stuff on their devices. So you're thinking, Kim, we've known you for a while. Why the heck do you want one of these? Well, one of the reasons I wanted one was because of that thing I was just talking to you about. Where the heck is my phone? And you know how you get into the habit of, like, your keys? When you get home from work or wherever, do your keys, like mine, go in a specific spot? My key goes in like one of three places, and they're all within like a foot of each other. And my key gets tossed there. When I do that, I have a pretty good idea where my key is. So my key is one thing I'm not going to lose. Well, I'm kind of thinking the same thing may apply with one of these phone pillows. And I say it's a phone pillow, but you can use it with any kind of device you have. You can use it with your iPhone. You can use it with an iPad, or an iPad Air, or a Mini, or an Android phone, or a Fire tablet. And essentially, you can use it to elevate that tablet or phone so that it is not sitting directly on something. I had my phone on the bed the other day, and it took me like 2 or 3 seconds to find it, because I'm like, I know it's here somewhere. Where did it go? And because your phone is so slim and streamlined, sometimes it just gets lost and you don't know where it went, especially if it goes under a pillow or something. Then you're like, where is it? Right? Well, I thought this could be a solution to that problem because it keeps your phone elevated. And it's probably, I don't know, 6-7 inches high. So it really puts your phone up higher. And it's soft. So if you bump it with your elbow or something, you're not going to go, ouch, and then realize, oh, my phone's on top of it. Right. What I liked about this one was this was a QVC Today's Special Value. Shocking to those of you who know me, I know. Some of you are laughing right now. It's cool. And I thought it was a cool concept. Now, you don't just have to get these from QVC. If you type phone pillow into Amazon, you will find lots of these from which to choose. I'll link to the QVC one because it's still available in a package of 2. And you get these for about $15-20. So it's not a huge investment. What I like about this one is not only can you lay it about 3 different ways. You can kind of put it up on its side, or you can lay it down, or you can kind of flip it up. You also, with this particular one, have 2 pockets, one on either side. And my SE 2020 fits in portrait mode in one of these pockets. But I think what the pockets are meant for is for stuff like styluses or cables or whatever you might want. Let's say you have a cold. You might want to put a tissue in one of those. So you've got options. You've got things you can do with it. And it has little ledges to kind of support your device and keep your device in the position in which you put it. So most people, most sighted people, are going to put this thing in landscape mode for their device, whatever their device is. We don't care necessarily, right? So you can put it in portrait, you can put it in landscape, and it's got these little grooves, at least on the longer sides. So it's kind of a funky looking little rectangle. On the longer sides of it, it does have some little grooves or little ledges, little rounded ledges on the ends or the outside edges that will hold your phone in place. So what's really nice about it is if you wanted to put it, say, on the bed or on the couch or on the coffee table in front of you, then you're going to kind of have a pretty good idea where that is. You can just reach out and grab. So let's say you have it and you're streaming a YouTube video through, I don't know, your Sonos or your favorite Bluetooth speaker or whatever. And you reach out and you're like, oh, where's my phone? My phone is ringing. I need to get this call. You will now know, you will not hit the glass of wine, go back to our glass of wine example, sitting on the table next to your device because your device is on the pillow. So you reach out, you find that pillow, you reach up, boom, you got your phone. So not only is it for orientation though, it's a little something cozy, right? This has been a weird year, guys. We all know this. So not only do you have something to put your device on, you have something cozy that will be just something soft and nice to have around sitting close to you, so that your phone can not only be cozy, but if you reach out, it's just, you can prop your arm, you can snuggle up next to it on a cold winter night. I mean, I'm not making any weird suggestions about this thing, but what I am suggesting is it's soft. It's got memory foam in it, right? And it's just there. It's just something kind of soft and pleasant for you to use that will hold it steady, that will keep it in position. And you can probably find all sorts of other interesting uses for this thing. It's also really nice if you got other people in your house. Your phone is the phone on the pillow, right? This is my pillow. Y'all can get your own pillows. This is mine, and this is where my phone is going to live if we've all got our phones kind of in the same room, all doing our different things on our devices, right? So you've got a place for your specific device. So I like it. I've only had mine for a couple days. I haven't gotten to play with it a great deal. And I got mine in a 2-pack. I gave my mom one because my mom is the Fire Tablet queen now. She was a big Apple girl, and now she has moved into the realm of Amazon. And she orders from Amazon at least once a week, so it's really fun to watch that happen to my mom, who is a lady of a certain age who is just getting involved in tech and has really just been involved with tech for not even a decade now. So she's really just enjoying this experience so much. And I think she will enjoy having this nice, soft, fluffy, cushy thing that she can put her device on, either in her lap. So again, it elevates. It's the same reason, guys, or one of the same reasons, that you might get a lap desk. It's the same kind of thing. You can prop up your particular device and have it handy and close to you. So this came from QVC. I'll link to the QVC version, but there are versions everywhere. I think this is by a company called Duo, D-U-O, and it's available from QVC in lots of beautiful colors. I have a purple heathered one, and You can get it in a set of 2 for about $30, 34, 35 maybe with shipping. It'll come sailing its way to your house, and you can find your own innovative uses for it. I wanted to share it with you guys because, sometimes I remember an experience I had in college where some friends came in and we were all just kind of sitting around in my room. And one of my friends was laughing really hard at me, and he says, "You've got this awesome state-of-the-art DVD player and this itsy-bitsy TV. You are so funny, right?" And I'm like, yeah, what do I care about having a nice 45-inch TV? And this was years ago. Like, we probably couldn't have dragged the 45-inch TV to college, right? But, you don't have the big TV. You've got the little baby TV. But, yeah, I want that good DVD player, right? So, here I am. And this kind of reminds me of that situation a little bit. Why do you want a viewing stand for your tablet? Well, because you might find a really cool use for that. My little bitty TV is more portable than your huge one. My stand or my tablet pillow or my phone holder may be used in a slightly different way or for a slightly different intent or reason than yours. It doesn't mean it's not applicable to me. So it's one of those cool moments of advocacy or, ways that you can modify something to work for you.
So now that we've talked about all kinds of stuff, so I'm going to sign off with a little teaser. Possibly by the next podcast or the podcast after that, we may have another way to manage your mailbox.
We may indeed. And this is not your inbox mailbox, by the way.
This is your mailbox.
This is your actual mailbox.
So thank you, everybody, for listening to us, and we shall see you in 2 weeks.
2
Bye,
weeks
everybody.
in September, no less.
September.
Where is the time going, guys? Ah!
Bye.
Bye.
The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and desire to discover how our comprehensive products and services may support and empower your assistive technology journey, we welcome your visit at www.mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have something to share about this podcast episode, press 4 to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com. Connect with us on Twitter at twitter.com/mysticaccess and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Your friends and colleagues may listen and subscribe at www.mysticaccesspodcast.com. If you enjoy our episodes, consider leaving us an iTunes rating and review. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.